This will be my 51st video. What I did is I sat down and I was thinking, what in the world? It occurred to me that I might be able to ask about what is going on with the general energy that's in the world today. So I sat down and I got a reading that kind of surprised me, and I'm going to go through it. It looks complicated, but here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn the cards over and kind of start at the beginning, because that makes sense to me here, so that you can see them as they came out to me. And I've done this with a reading a time before and it worked okay, so we'll see. Okay, this is a reading that I did that was kind of an experiment to see if I could kind of get a glimpse of the energy in the world today. Because I know that we've been in a couple of challenging years, and I was just wondering if that would work in tarot. This is my 51st reading. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the cards up as they came out. I did a Celtic Cross reading, and there's a couple of cards on the edges that are clarifiers. So just this basic part of the reading plus some of the clarifiers are here turned over. So what I'll do is I will go through this and see if I can convey to you what I think is the reading interpretation. So anyway, this is the general energy of people. What is in the collective consciousness. This isn't a reading for people specifically. This is just a reading about what is the energy that is happening in our world today. So let's see what we got. So the heart of the matter is the Tower. Now the Tower is disruptive energy. It's a thing that upturns situations. It can be destructive, but what it is always a course correction. So the initial idea here is that the entire collective of humanity is undergoing a sort of a course correction. Now, what is the crossing energy here? I asked. And the crossing energy here is the Seven of Wands. So this is interesting because this talks about feeling defensive, feeling a need to defend. This is a card that, if we look at this as humanity, this is humanity thinking, I am being attacked from without, and I have the need to defend myself. I totally get that. I totally get that idea. And there is a take on this card in this particular deck that tells me something completely different. This is individuals who are sitting in sort of a Zen state. It's highly concentrated personal energy. That what if that is all just an illusion? That's what I'm thinking here is this is an illusion that we need to defend ourselves. Yet it seems to be the energy around us. Everyone is defending one side or another. So it's interesting how these two cards came together. So the next card is the base. What is at the base of this? And the base can be a root cause. And this is the Five of Wands in reverse. And the Five of Wands is a card about competition and conflict. And when it's reversed, it's about being overly competitive in group fighting and arguments, not following the rules, and a tendency to avoid conflict to your detriment. So this is where a little rivalry can go a long way, but a little bit more rivalry can push us in a shadow side. So it's an imbalance. It's things have become too competitive, and there is a sense of that around us right now. I think that's accurate. I think that's accurate. And the next card in the deck is the past. The past is the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is mental, it's being up in your head about things, about problems, situations. So it's feeling as though you're trapped in a situation when you actually aren't. I'll take that just as, so there's a lot of energy that is, we're getting these images from all over the place, and we're taking those and we're feeling like we're constricted by it, and we aren't. And I called for a clarifier on this, and that clarifier was the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is a state where, if you look at it one way, it's a person holding on to their resources and being selfish, if you will, selfish or miserly or hoarding things. And then another way of looking at it, it's knowing you have enough resources to get by and knowing how to use those resources. So this state that we are in is we feel like we have not got enough and we're trapped. Whereas the reality is that we do have enough. We just need to know how to use it as a general collective. And I think that's accurate. I think that is relevant and it's accurate. So that was interesting. So then I go to the energy above. And I got these two cards. And one of them is justice. And this is conscious. This is the thing that is coming into the current consciousness. And this is justice and decisions for the future. And I'm just going to leave that right there, because that's exactly the feeling right now is there is a drive towards all forms of justice. And I think that's in, it's a very powerful idea that this is justice not just for now, but this is justice for into the future, the decisions that we make going into the future. And there's a balance here. The scales, the balance, and then there's this decision here that's going into the future. And in the near future, there is the Nine of Wands. And this is, I think, the feeling that many of us have. And we're also feeling overworked. We're doing all this work and we're feeling tired. I get it. I really think this is accurate. So then I went to the current state of just consciousness of humanity. And there's some interesting information here that I think might be accurate as well. There's a general sense that we want to be in a sense of community with people. In this case, it's with kindred spirits. Well, perhaps that's part of the divisiveness that we feel sometimes, that the kindred spirits part may be strong, but we also have this strength, and this kind of strength here is a strength that is balanced strength, and it is compassion, and so it is understanding that compassion is and courage together is the strength that we need to actually get along as a species. So this came from somewhere. I'm just saying this seems really accurate. The general overall consciousness of they would like to be happy, they would like to be celebrating with friends and loved ones. And there is a feeling that we are strong enough that we can get along without coming to this kind of conflict, this competition for things and this competition for ideas. This is kind of what is going on in the world, what is the feeling of people in general. And this isn't meant to be controversial. This is just me looking into what the tarot could tell us about the general situation. So the environment is, things are moving fast, and I think this really talks to the speed of technology. But this is telling us that we're in an environment where we can harness the energies of both sides of, and that's what I'm saying, in both sides. That means the energies of the dark and the light, and the physical and the spiritual and the material and the all of the energies, the divine feminine and divine masculine. And we can harness that to move forward. We have an opportunity. And I think that's what something about this is saying. This is what technology has enabled us to do. And that, again, you have to have that balance of those energies. Otherwise, things get skewed one direction or another. And the balance is important. So the next thing was the hopes and fears. Well, the hopes and fears were very, very clear. The fear is this conflict, and this is conflict of either communication, information, or actual conflict. We don't want really, of course, we don't desire conflict, but we do prefer the love. This could be love, romantic relationships, and this is community and getting along with people and compassion. This is what humanity really wants. So I have to say that the impression that I get here is that the message that I have been given is that people really are inherently good, and we all do have things that we have in common that we want. We want to be safe. We want to be with loved ones. We want to have enough. We want to not be feeling attacked, and we don't like this heavy competition and conflict. So, what is the outcome as this stands? And this is where it got interesting. I'm not exactly sure what to make of it, because the first card that came up, yeah, it was this way. It was the Queen of Wands reversed. And I asked why the Queen of Wands was reversed, and I got the Seven of Swords. Now I'm going to look at that, because the Queen of Wands is a fiery, compassionate energy, and it's creativity, passion, determination, confidence, joy, bold expression, helping others as you build, and power. And it's all of that. But the other side of it is jealousy, being afraid to take a risk, not being totally honest with yourself, a need to build self-confidence and let go of what other people think, and waning passions. So it's the creative side and the other side of things. It is taking the tendency that we have for this bold expression and turning it upside down. And why this has happened and what this is about is interesting. So why this has happened is the Seven of Swords. So there is the Seven of Swords. It's deception or betrayal, taking only what's needed. That is one thing that it can be. The universe bearing witness to true intentions, or getting away with something, being strategic. So this can be stealthy motion. This can be subverting of things. This is an energy that is possibly one of deception and betrayal. But it's also because we are not necessarily being honest with ourselves about the nature of our reality right now. And sometimes we pretend everything is okay, and everything is not okay in the world on any given moment. And so I think that really intuitively what is the message here is that we've taken this creativity and somehow we're saying, okay, well, we are all right when things are not really all right in this world. When things aren't all right and when things are out of balance, then some of us can have this. Here's the thing. The card, the Queen of Wands, I asked more about why is the Queen of Wands upside down, and I got the Six of Swords, because there is healing taking place. There are things that are happening that this has been turned upside down, but that is because we're looking at things in a different way. And I think that and that's where we're finding out, is this deception or is it just foolishness? And that deception is really the fool. But why are these two things in place? Well, one of them is the magician. And the magician can be someone who has manipulated us. And in many cases, this in our modern world, there are a lot of things that do manipulate us. If we think about, say, advertising messages, certain kinds of like spam. You have marketing. I'm not saying this is necessarily inherently evil. I'm just saying that there are a lot of things that manipulate us till we get the wrong impression. We kind of have this false impression about what the world is looking like. And I think that right now we're examining that, and we're seeing that we have been manipulated in ways that we never thought were possible. And I think that that's the other side of this, is this search for this, this person who is completely put together, has everything that they need. And there's a little bit that talks to being selfish or striving too much for the material that I see here in this. So this is complex. It's a complex outcome. It's like trying to heal this creativity and passion that might be going sort of being subverted in the wrong direction by believing foolish messages, by believing foolishness that is out there, that things that having priorities not quite right. So I asked for information about this, and what I got was that this situation here has to do with the Seven of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, which is right here, that's healing, the Seven of Pentacles, which is talking about what is it that you really need, then the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. So there's sadness and sorrow and a feeling of loss that I think is pushing us to want this ideal world. And I think that's why we do that. We feel a lack, and we don't realize that we have enough. We don't realize that this Four of Pentacles is what we have. We don't think about it, that when we're in a time of loss, that all is not lost. So these two cards here have come up in a couple of readings recently. So I think that we're in the process of examining what it is that we have put in front of us. And this was the final card that I got. And some of us are walking away from that idea. So there's something about our modern world that has got us all kind of mixed up in different ways. And then these two cards, these are cards of advice. The Daughter of Cups. The Daughter of Cups is the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is an emotional, innocent nature. And the Ace of Cups is compassion and love. And these two things is that I think that the answer is going to be for a lot of us to go back to a time when we could imagine from the fool's point of view. And the fool up here is, I think, not the fool that is the thing that is going to move us forward, but the Ace of Cups showed up here at the bottom of the deck as well, and along with the Sun. So I think that what we're doing right now is we are reforming an idea of the world, because we've realized that some of these things that are the outcome right now are not really serving us as well as we thought they were. And so we're starting to walk away from some of it. And at the base here, the Sun, things are going to come to light that will show what has, some of the things, why they are not really that good. But this is the end and the beginning. And so that this is a new, we're entering a new phase. And there are things that are hidden, and that the hidden and revealed, because we've got the Moon, the World, and the sun. And at the base of it, there is that Ace of Cups. So there is a lot of true love, open hearts. There's a lot of energy out there that is really good. And that is going to take the hidden, and it's going to, the tower and the world are going to move us in that new direction. So the final cards down here are the Three of Wands, which is the whole world, our humanity catching in the next wave, and then the Knight of Cups, which is a message of love, and under that is brilliant clarity. So as to how this is going to turn out, I don't know, but it to me seemed to be a very hopeful reading. And I'm going to put it out there and sort of leave it as it is and just let you contemplate it. And I would be curious to know what people make of the outcome and this clarification of it. If it opens your mind up for possibilities and shifts in perspective and thinking about what's going on in a different way, we're all kind of heading the same direction. We're just doing it in our own different ways. So I will leave it there.